Hey folks out there, how's it going? If you're listening in right now, I'm actually doing a collaborative drawing sketch jam here with a couple of people. So they joined through a link on LightBox or discord.com. We have one half being creatures, the other half being heroes. Choose a side and sketch. I'll be talking obviously and taking on any potential questions and such if we're live here right now on Twitch as well. So I'll keep an eye on the chat board doing this and we'll sketch away a little bit. Going Burn, welcome. Are you on the sketch jam right now? Or are you just listening in? How's it going, Joe? What are the ground rules? Right hand side are creatures, left hand side are heroes. So you can draw demons, you can draw orcs, you can draw elves. They're going to be warring against each other. Heroes, obviously being hero types, fantasy. Creatures being orcs and goblins or whatever the case may be. How's it going? Welcome. Question from Tiger Mac is it normal for someone to not understand construction for a long period of time? I've been following your work for 5 years now and I still can't draw, unfortunately. Well, is it normal, again, that question, for someone not to understand construction for a long period of time? The question really is, have you actually been trying to understand construction? Have you been taking courses at all or learning through books or something like this? Or has it been mostly because you understand the terminology, you've been hearing people talking about construction, and obviously it seems to be important to maybe explore. I guess that's part of my response of like first figuring out where you are at this point. Yeah, fine tune that and question response. I try to get back to on that as best I can in terms of my thoughts and observations from what I've seen around what people do. Sorek is asking, should I use the same structural sketching approach you teach when I'm trying to design something? I find it very hard to come up with good shapes if I don't sketch very loose and rough first. That's fine. You can be as loose as rough as you want to. The idea about stuff like that of creating or designing is that it's a process based on you discovering the things that work for you, right? So whatever I teach is something that is more of a tool set that can be incorporated or used in any way you want to or whenever you want to. whether to a full degree or to even just a minor amount. So in that sense, like I said, it's like if you like the approach where it's much looser and rougher in the beginning, just to like come up with some ideas, definitely do so. You should go in there when you're trying to come up with an idea of a sketch or a design where it doesn't have to necessarily look anything so perfect, but it's more to the sense of you're trying to understand what you're trying to produce, right? So it's not so much on thinking on how to make it look really good from the beginning, but giving yourself a chance to go through the process of discovery. So for me, I also like to start rougher and looser when I'm designing something. Where if I'm like illustrating or drawing something with a specific idea and concept, it might go directly to the image and to the point what I'm trying to go for. Even such like this right now, as I'm drawing this kind of like goblin orc kind of thing, I already have a pre-idea as to what I want this, character, creature slash thing to look like. But I don't consider this designing, because if I was going to design it, I would explore the different possible routes of what this guy could look like. But I already have made up my mind as to what I want. So yeah, you should keep it loose and steady and move through as much as you want to. It's being recorded right now, and so it's going to be recorded and also uploaded somewhere. Yeah, it's going to be uploaded on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, and I'll upload it immediately after we are done, so you guys can go back and watch things, or if people missed it, they can go back and watch this stuff and understand how Lightbox is going, or how this kind of group sketching session is kind of running. What we're using right now, for those of you that are joining for the first time, is we're using a web-based drawing program called Magma Studio. So all you need to do is go to Magma Studio and click on their link, and you can generate your own web-based board like this and invite your friends, and you guys can sketch and draw different kind of things. Right now, this was posted on the Discord for Lightbox, so people who have the link and they can see it. The one you can usually see the name kind of floating around. Well, for me, you can't see it, but you can see the cursor where I'm doing circles. That's me. So the other people have names under them. So what you're seeing is under my own web page. So you wouldn't see my name. All you see is my cursor. I'm drawing this orc creature thingy. And people can interact and sketch and overlap. And the idea is that we want to be able to share and contribute images together. This is the first time I'm using it myself. Well, not the first time. First time I've been exposed to it for this event. It's pretty solid in terms of its smoothness. It runs well. It's an awesome way to even do things like not just drawing collaborations, but like meetings and being able to share ideas and concepts. Even if it's not necessarily drawing creative, but like note taking and presentations and stuff like that. I don't know if you can bring in files. It looks like you can import stuff like JPEGs and whatnot. So it seems like a pretty cool spot to be able to like even do office meeting kind of things. Yeah, it's pretty fascinating. As people get more comfortable, the images start to kind of generate more through. In the beginning, it's a little bit chaotic. You're trying to figure out what's going on and how they'll run the program. But it's pretty similar to how Photoshop runs. They have the same kind of undo, brush, erase. You can move the canvas around. You can zoom in and out. All the icons on the top are individual people we have here today. I don't know who's here. And it's really cool to be able to see kind of like people interacting with each other. How's it going, Rasp Pencil? I'm gonna go to the layer real quickly. If you guys haven't been a part of the LightBox Expo just yet, you guys might want to check it out. It's going on all weekend. Today was the first day, and a lot of events of panels, workshops, talks, conversations, drawing events were happening and going on. I have a couple of talks, not talks, but one talk tomorrow. I'm going to be doing another sketch jam like this again with the Superani team. That'll be around 4 p.m. It'll be me, Carl Kapinski, Nicholas Demiri, Miss Jizu, Kim Jung-gi, Dong Ho Kim, all the Superani guys. So Crosshatch, what you'd want to do is actually be a part of the LightBox Expo. So you got to go to their website. Go to their website. You can actually then get access to the whole thing. So again, if we click on this link here, the expo at the moment, that's the expo for Lightbox, and you can register. The registration for Lightbox is only $1, and you can access all the content that's going on right now. And of course, you can access the Discord group, and the Discord group is where we post up links of where things like this are happening. And we only have a couple of people, but this has a limit of, I think, a max capacity of 30 people that can draw at the same time. So that's a lot of people, 30 people here. Right now we got about about 15, 20 people coming in maybe. Davis, welcome. I'm glad you're here. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, you're more than welcome. I know this is not the traditional kind of like live stream that I've done in the past. This is just more for the event of Lightbox going on right now. So that's why it's a bit more of a unique experience going on at the moment for other people that are part of the event to be able to sketch and draw with me. You guys want to check it out further with more things that are coming up. Again, it's this whole weekend. Sunday is the last day, and there's chock full of stuff every single day. It is on their Discord. It's on the Discord channel that you have to obviously access towards, and they have things on the left hand side which are all the different channels. If you go to a section called Hall A, they have links there for the different Magma Studio links that are available. Double check the chat just in case. If I go to the Discord right now, you'll take a look at this at the moment. You'll see on the left hand side here, Hall A shows you the draw together with me. I put that up in here accidentally, actually. I should have put that in draw together VIP section. Post that again. Wasn't supposed to go in there, but it's okay. I don't really have a Discord channel. I just have an account. I'm a part of a couple of different groups, but I don't have my own Discord channel. Charlie asks, as a professional draftsman, now what is your next goal? So for me, it's like, it pertains to application of the skills that I do have. Obviously, leading towards what I'm doing currently, like building projects, building IPs, telling stories, making books, all that kind of stuff. And that's a big aspect of the continuation that I want to do, which will hopefully grow and get even more interest, eyes on them, maybe even like building actual, I don't know. I even have thoughts of like producing shows, movies, because the comic I'm producing right now is a lot of fun, and that's one of the reasons why I made it. Is because I saw it as a vehicle to do something even bigger, which was like a TV show or something like that. And it may not happen. okay, but that is something I would like to be able to do with some of my ideas, is produce something essentially. Yeah, I produce books and comics and stuff like that, and that's fun. But even on a scale that's grander, like on the screen, that's the idea, Charlie. But like I said, it's a goal. It may not happen. Uh, so you're asking. I was thinking of taking your online classes, so I was wondering, does it have any live sketches such as outdoor, or is it strictly through Zoom? So we don't meet physically, it's all online. But as we meet online, will you be drawing on location, like outside somewhere? That's all very much your decision based on the subjects that we would actually present, that I would present. So some of the locations might be available to you. Let's say you might have a location that has, like, I don't know, bone structure from the Natural History Museum, um, that kind of stuff. You can maybe access and use as well. But it will primarily be using mostly reference images that you'll find online. And yes, it'll all be through, what I use is GoToMeetings. I don't use Zoom personally. I use Zoom through other accounts, like other teaching classes, but my own classes, I use GoToMeetings. So those links are then sent out through email. You would join it live. My sessions will go about 4 hours, typically, per session. So per class, we're meeting a total of like 9 weeks for the drawing class. See which layers are not being used. I can't really tell right now. Doesn't really matter, honestly. I'll go back and clean it up later. Kind of easy. Yeah, this is all Lightbox stuff right now. Live drawing thing called Magma Studio. You'll see the link up here, the upper left-hand corner. You can use it to do like drawing collaborations and stuff like that. Question from Zana Glare is, do you have any advice for students that want to work for animation or in games, or specifically indie studios? Well, obviously your portfolio is everything, right? So from that portfolio, the foundations of all your skill sets have to be built up. So hopefully your foundations are strong, from drawing to painting to design skills and storytelling, your presentation, your ability to communicate and present ideas. All those things need to be built up through skills that you'll learn either through a class or through your own personal ventures of learning. Many ways of picking that information up. Zoom in a little bit. I don't want to zoom in way too much, actually. I want to keep everything kind of framed so you guys can see what's going on. Actually, you know what? I'm going to apply a little bit of color to it. This. Is there any way to join this drawing? Right now you still can, there's room left over, but you'd have to go and join the Discord for LightBox Expo. And LightBox Expo, the website, if you join it, you can register and get access to the content and the Discord connection link. Which, if you join, you will be able to see a lot of the different stuff that's going on right now. And inside the Discord, there's the channel on the left-hand side, which has a section called Hall A, which tells you VIP drawing community. So there's a link in there that I posted up, which you can then join. If you want to draw with us, there's still room left over, people to come in. There's still a couple of spots open. You guys can draw on top of each other's work or behind it. Obviously, you don't want to interrupt other people, so be respectful, of course. Do I have any further plans for the blacksmith and his adventure? Yeah, I'm going to write the second book, planning this year. So the first book was done, being shipped out, getting out there. but I am planning already to get the second book underway. I would like to be able to get it done and starting to promote it by next year at some point, maybe around the summertime. Hopefully by end of fall, maybe, if anything else. It'll take me about a year to fully do it. Yeah, but I will continue it. So people that were a little bit worried, like, oh, you're just doing one book? It's like, no, I'm planning maybe around 3 books total, for sure. At least minimally 3 books. And of course, there was a new instructional book coming out this year as well, which will be announced. It's weird. But yeah, thanks for asking about the blacksmith. It's still something that I have a lot of interest in, and it was quite the ordeal to get the first book out, but definitely I'll continue it. Question here from another one from Charlie is, I've only learned, once I've learned the fundamentals of drawing, what should I focus on to get into a studio and get a job producing ideas? Well, the problem is if you're going from fundamentals of drawing and you want to focus on getting into a studio, there's a lot of additional stages in between. Obviously, to use your fundamentals for something, which requires obviously showing examples and proof of your ability to create, from ideas to concepts, storytelling on a technical level, but also on an artistic level. So you want to be able to show how you're going to incorporate all those things together, and that is not any easy or easy deal. I'm sure you realize. So it requires to learn other kind of skill sets that might be in design. It could be within other forms of study, whether it's like other kinds of anatomy, creature design things. And of course, you have to find your interests. Like, what is it you really want to do in a studio position? So if you're not quite sure, the good thing to do is maybe like research a little bit, explore what's available out there. Um, and that could be done through things like this LightBox Expo, which is really important to use to get a sense of like other professionals and what they've done, what paths they've created and gone towards. And everyone has a different path, but everyone has a general idea of a goal of what they would like to be able to do. And it could be something as simple as like, I want to just help create video games. What are your interests? Do you like movies and animations and I don't know, mobile stuff, or something even different than that? It could be like industrial design, or it could be I don't know, transportation to work. It could be a various amount of stuff. But the idea is that once you have a general idea of an interest of something, then you got to pursue those interests first by learning the fundamentals as you are. But then from there, beyond the fundamentals, where does it go? So those kind of questions have to be answered. And of course, then taking classes, you can ask that kind of question and discover it maybe through some instructor that might tell you more information. And then you go from there, right? But then, of course, you have the portfolio, all the typical stuff that we've kind of just mentioned as well. It is a whole part of the game. But hopefully that helps Charlie a little bit. There's so much more, of course, to cover on that side, but yeah. Xanaglare, in terms of the new Dynamic Bible, that announcement is going to come up very, very soon, sooner than you might think. And if anything else, pay attention to what's happening at Lightbox this weekend if you're looking for news about that particular book. I can't reveal stuff exactly right now just yet, but I will say that pay attention for this weekend. Izzy Terrell was, I don't know, maybe. Because these live drawing events been happening all day. So. That's awesome. This is the kind of stuff that's fun. Is like people can just like play around, learn, work with each other, collaborate. And this can be saved. It's being recorded right now, so this will go up on my YouTube channel later today. If you guys want to watch the recording, the entire thing. What practice can you suggest to improve design skills? I think a lot of that stuff is on researchability, actually. You might think it goes into a lot on drawing and some of the creative fundamentals, but in actuality, I would really recommend your ability on being able to research. How do you research? What do you look at? How do you absorb the information? How do you extract it? Do you take down notes? Do you go through a lot of repetition? Do you just observe and study many different things? If you are designing something, what do you want to look at to give you the inspiration to move forward? How to break past those walls and being able to, get past some of the cliches and generate something of something uniqueness or fresh or whatever the case is. You can't be original, but the idea is being able to reconfigure things that have a nice take on it. And of course, you're presented with a potential problem, whatever field you're working in, with what needs to be designed. So a design is a problem-solving exercise. So to solve them out, you got to understand how the world works. So the research is a huge aspect of it. And if researching is not something that's interesting to you, you got to find some way to make it interesting, okay? Because for me, as much as I draw, I also really enjoy exploring the history of things, the functionality of stuff, materials, who made them in the first place? Where do they come from? If it's a creature, where does it grow? How does it eat? What's a male and a female version look like? What's the biological information about it, right? So to improve design skills, not just being able to draw something really well, but understanding the fundamentals behind the structures of things that we're inspired by, if that makes sense. I hope so. So get into the living world. Explore, question, research. Find the curiosity that drives you to look for those things. The person that is more driven to search for that kind of information has much more depth of a well of data they can pull from to inspire them to move forward and solve problems. If you don't have it, then will you have then the drive to go seek it, to go search for it? On the subject of design exploration, do you do silhouette thumbnails or go directly to line drawings? And depends, again, it's a situational based on what you're creating. If you're, let's say, doing illustrations, I mean, you're going to do thumbnails, right? So there's going to be some sort of design exploration about composition, about shapes and values, the lighting situation, the posing perspective, all that stuff. It's a part of the process of exploration. But of course, you could say, I'm going to do like 3 or 4 thumbnails of that illustration work. Now, if you're saying entertainment design of like a character or a creature or an environment piece or an architectural structure, you're going to probably go through many more iterations to solve out the best possible route for that design based on then feedback, conversation with your art director or with your lead or your client as to what they want. So in design exploration, of course I'll do silhouettes, but it's all very much also based on the fact of what they want. Because as a designer, you are trying to figure out and try to read their mind, essentially. Which is a hard thing to do, but that is the name of the game. Yeah, for those of you that are joining in at the moment, we are drawing on a web-based app called Magma Studio .io, which is a collaborative drawing program. And right now, this is all live. These other people are coming from the LightBox Expo, and they're joining me to sketch and just explore and play around. I'm going to get rid of this other window. Now that people have chosen sides, we have heroes on the left and we have creatures on the right. At what point do you know that you are ready to carry out projects? You don't. You don't know. And nor will you ever. The idea is that no matter how you feel, whether you're ready or not, you're going to be interested to create, tell stories, to create worlds. From that, a project might arise of a story that you want to say within it, right? A world building exercise. Or maybe of a singular design that you have an interest towards, an aesthetic towards. and then you would try to build on top of that, right? But you won't know if you're truly ready to carry out a project, but you'll try because it's fun to do. If you don't find it fun, then you're probably still struggling with the possibility that right now your focus needs to be more on fundamentals, or you don't really feel confident about your skill sets in, let's say, like drawing or something like that. So then again, it's important to continue to explore those areas and strengthen them as much as you can. Uh, but yeah, it needs to start from there. But you don't really know. The best thing you can do is to see by playing around. It's sandbox. Create things. Let it happen, right? Be inspired by films. Read a lot of comics. Play some games and get inspiration from things that you also are find interesting, and create something even similar. Replicate it. Do you think in the near future a lot of work will be shifted towards remote freelance work? It already kind of is, and especially in this year, definitely that's become a lot more of a huge criteria in being able to work continually. Because right now no studios are open in the offices; everything is still shut down. So you got to be able to remote really work with the company and the studios and other people that are on the job. So that is very much an aspect of what is currently going on. So yeah, but it always was there, to a degree. I worked remotely for the last, several number of years. Journey art, what are you drawing? Are you on here right now? Epic white on black drawing. Oh, I see. You're the one down there. I like your crazy Conan-like guy. Awesome. It's about 9:30 right now. We're probably going to go till about 10:30 or so, maybe another hour. Just playing around. Some people will drop out because they're kind of done. Other people might jump in. So if you have an opening, if you want to jump in and draw with me still, if an opening does pop up, you're welcome to. And just have fun, enjoy. Again, this is supposed to be a very fun weekend to communicate and collaborate, build a community, get stronger in your understanding, interact with people that you've always like followed and wanted to learn from more. Use that opportunity, get out there, network, get to know each other, be a part of the Discord. Oh, you're using a mouse, okay. That's awesome. I actually know a lot of artists that have used primarily a mouse most of their training because they couldn't really afford things like tablets, and they weren't necessarily trained traditionally, so they would just start using the mouse. I actually know people that used to render with mouses. It was pretty crazy. They just get used to that muscle memory and they're able to produce it, relatively well. I don't think it's necessarily healthy. Your hand will probably end up hating you after a number of years of doing that. But yeah, I'm glad you're a part of it though. Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on now. Zoom out a little bit. Cool stuff. I love the creatures here. Stuff like this we'll post on the Discord again, kind of show people. I might do this again tomorrow morning. I'm not sure yet. Tomorrow I have another drawing jam like this with the Superani team. I'll be doing another drawing jam on Sunday with a number of other professional artists, and we'll be doing a creature creation session. And so there'll be a moderator for that one, all that kind of stuff. This one I'm just running myself. So the professional artists have the ability to go into Discord and just start their own thing if they want. I figured I wasn't going to do anything else tonight, so I might as well just run a live session, have people join and draw. I think the actual show essentially kind of ended around 8, and there's no other events I think going on right now. Maybe there are. Maybe they're still going on currently for people that are international. A lot of people here in domestic in the US are kind of shutting down. But this is a good time to jump on because now we have people that are up, maybe in different parts of the country or different parts of the world, and they didn't really get to be a part of things. So going a little bit later sometimes can have a bit of a benefit. Hey, what's going on, Natalia? Am I teaching classes Art Center this year? No, I'm not. I wasn't even asked for fall. I pretty much had kind of made up my mind that I'm actually not coming back at the moment. So that's kind of the current plan. Just due to the fact that the classes I've been running on my own platform have been doing very well, and I don't necessarily support what's going on when it comes to the whole online class situation. What they're doing, it could still work, but in terms of how they're treating it and running it, wise, I can't side with that. Where I would teach the same class under my own format and ask for a fraction of the cost, where someone at Art Center would have to pay that much, is I don't think it's necessarily very right. So that's just my own personal thing. But again, it's like I would love to be a part of more of what Art Center does in the future at some point. You know, working with the students are always fun. But at the current state of it, at the moment, I am not slated to come back. So yeah, give me more updates. I'd love to hear from you in terms of like what's going on your end, and also how Art Center is going. And I don't really talk to anybody at Art Center at the moment, so I don't know how everything is going right now. So I just assumed it was a bit of a. How were your first drawings, illustration jobs, Charlie? Well, again, I got my first gig. If you're asking for like my very first like kind of small freelance gig, it was when I graduated high school. I went to a 2-year college in Portland, Oregon, at the Art Institute in Portland up there, and I met an instructor. She was my illustration instructor, and she actually wanted to represent me, be like my first agent, and she gave me my first couple of small little jobs, illustration work, doing things like little prints, illustration work for spot art, for magazines and stuff like that. And you know, they actually they paid me, and I actually made a little bit of money. I was like 19 at the time, you know, so it was fun to get stuff like that. But I don't necessarily consider it like a full professional gig. It was just nice little small odd jobs like that that kind of got me rolling into the idea. But it was really nice to get have someone support what I really wanted to do. So she backed me quite a bit. Uh-oh. There's a connection over here. There we go. That was scary. There was a way to save this. I want to save it just in case. Yeah, Zex, the next book will be announced very soon, even potentially at this event. So look towards this weekend for that information to pop up. Whoa, that was weird. We have a lot of layers on here right now. Test layer. When is the next session for my classes held, and how many seats do you anticipate to open? Well, the next session will begin in October, end of October. Registration will happen around mid-October, and that's the last session for this year. That's going to happen. Next year, it'll begin up again around January. But in terms of how many seats, again, each session, each class has about 15 people. At the moment, there's no reservations. Everything is still open. So it's all first come, first serve basis. I do understand it fills up quite quickly. So I hope that if you're interested, that you'll be able to secure a spot. Can we use this app on the iPad? Yes, you can. Do animation studios work like this? Multiple people on one canvas? RG Villain, actually, there are design storms, is what we call it. So design storms are where groups of people come together in a room. We kind of like hash out ideas. We'll put ideas on a wall. We'll even lay out like a really large butcher paper. We'll all sketch together. That's something we do, actually. So in a way, yes. In a way. How's it going, Ali? Welcome. What's your favorite drawing on the screen? I really enjoy this crazy like reptilian creature from Umbra right now. That thing is cool looking. I even like that crazy primate monkey thing. All the sketches here are tons of fun. Just beautiful ones over here with like a render of the head. I love some of the shapes of the creatures down below. And I really also highly am entertained by the small little icons and the little creatures around it. These are really fun. Yeah, your pick is a lot of fun too. I like, again, everyone's different approaches are always very entertaining. Oh, you're here joining us, Umbra. Awesome. Yeah, that's a cool looking creature for sure. What I really like is the color sets on it. Nice, kind of cool with a complementary color with the orange stripe on there. That's a nice little touch. This is a random question, but have you heard of Homestuck? I have not, Jenna Glare. You know what that is in terms of information about it? Sounds interesting. I'll take a look at it, but I have not heard of it. Do you recommend art college for people who want to get better? I've only been drawing a year and a half and want to improve. So that's a very, very loaded question, which I can come into with a lot of information. Uh, but what I will say, just very basically and briefly, is that yes, I do think colleges are recommended. I would recommend it because it's a great experience if you know how to approach it properly with the right mindset, with the right scheduling, the location where you go to, and also just a little bit of luck and timing on your own. So it can be a very good thing because for one, obviously, I went to college and school, and honest, I don't regret my experience. Was it expensive? It was. Is it even more expensive now? It is. Would I go to college today? Potentially. If I didn't know what I know now, it would probably be a very different kind of answer. If I didn't know what I know now, I would probably say yes. If I know what I know at the current moment, it's a yes and no. I would, but I wouldn't finish it because realizing and understanding the fact that a college degree means bull crap in the industry is that I just want to get what I can out of the discipline, the network, the education, information at a fundamental level, build up my my skills of investment and commitment, understand it, really get some good instructors in place and mentorships, and then leave. And then go to like the other schools that are available, like online or local schools, and get the extra advanced education through these much cheaper routes. It's true, RJ. I'm sorry, RJ, RG villain. AI does have a potential to replace many, many things, but it will not replace the human creativity. Well, not within the lifespan in which we'll live. Okay, it will take over some base fundamental things, possibly in terms of like being able to replicate stuff, generate images for like things like backgrounds, whatever the case may be. But in terms of like telling stories in the way we do, that'll be a while, I would say. Not impossible, but I would say that'll be a while. I'll be long dead. I do watch the show The Boys. The first season was great. I've been watching the second season. It's pretty cool. Um, the questions I'm here, I'm just missing. Let me see. Any tips on the beginner who's into manga style art, maybe book or artist illustrator? I mean, there's so many books out there. Honestly, I on that situation, I just be looking at the manga artists that you just enjoy. Is it wrong to learn from manga artists? No, I don't think so. I did. I really enjoy manga artists. I really like this current, well, not current, but guy who's been around for a while. But I'm a huge fan of Inoue Takehiko, the Vagabond series. I love Katsuhiro Otomo. He doesn't really do a lot of manga. He does a little bit of it. The Monkey King series. When I was growing up, yeah, I was into Dragon Ball. Still kind of am. It hasn't really left my system just yet. And I used to copy them when I was a kid, all the time. So as I would understand it, copy it, I would learn from it, extract information of things that I liked. And then of course I would go through the actual methods of like traditional methods of art, design, fundamental processes, perspective, all that kind of stuff. And then I'm still able to maintain my interest and stylistic approach of things. And I harness it and integrate it together. Do I think I would pick back up on Attack on Titan? I'm not sure yet. I haven't had the time to go back in to rewatch that part. Maybe at some point in the future, maybe. Ali, you were asking, so anyone can hop on with you and doodle? Obviously, there is no room. Just curious for future VIP sketch jams. With this app, yes. So if you have the link to it, you can jump in anytime. There's a max fill to 30 people. So if it's filled, unfortunately, you can't jump in. Obviously, a lot of the space has been filled up. That's fun. We're just going to go for another maybe half an hour at most. Yeah, if anybody has any recommendations for RG Villain about books, please do suggest stuff. You're an AI engineer. Just it'll take a while. Thank you for the confirmation. Good to know that we're not going to get terminated just yet, or driven out of a job to draw stuff. Even then, if the AI does take over that job, I'll just make my own stuff. Yeah, I'll consider that crosshatch, season 2 for Attack on Titan. Yeah, thank you guys for hopping in, joining, and checking it out. This is for those of you that are joining at the first moment, or currently right now, this is a sketch jam with a bunch of other people. A lot of these people are just coming from all walks of life. I don't know who everyone out here is. Obviously, some of them are here right now live with us on Twitch. And this link on Magma Studio was presented on LightBox Expo and shared on their Discord. So these people that are coming from there are coming from that side of it. And I wanted to start the Twitch channel because that was the best way to chat with people at the same time. The only other way I would have been able to chat is using the Discord audio channels, but those are really, I don't know, I don't like them. The setup seems so basic, and I'm actually not even a fan of Discord's UI setup. Using is hell to me. Get lost very easily in that. In terms of other books, still RG Villain, one book I just recently discovered is going to be the sketching and rendering techniques by, what the hell is his first name? I had to look it up again, but it was a sketching with pen and ink. There's an old book. Last name is Guptill. There's a lot of really cool techniques that are similar to the way I approach things for sketching and drawing. Obviously presented a little bit differently, but still a lot of fun. It's always good to see different ways of approaching similar methods of thinking and drawing and sketching. Gives you more insight and helps adjust on your end. Yeah, it's true, Ali. It's just really, if you're talking about the Lightbox one, also, it is kind of crazy. There's just so many, especially even like the Lightbox website. There's so much stuff happening every single day. It's really hard to get organized. I've been reading some of the comments on the chat boards, and it seems like most everybody is a little bit intimidated by it. There's just so much happening at the same time. They don't know where to go, which is going to be obviously one of the feedbacks I'm sure they'll get quite a bit. I hope that you guys who are joining for Lightbox will do a lot of feedback for them. If you're getting surveys or opportunities for, yeah, there you go, Arthur Guptill. But give them feedback, thoughts about your experiences, not just criticism, not telling them why it sucks and stuff like that, but more of a sense of like what can they improve? You know, how can they just make it better? What would you like to see? And whether it happens or not, at least just a thought as to like what you think would be a good thing. Yeah, these are really good people on here. And look at that character up there on the right. Natalia is doing an awesome piece. And we're gonna go for maybe 20 to 30 minutes max. Our last session here to give a chance for people to kind of wrap things up, put some color into things if they want to, paint things, or do some additional drawings. Thank you, Journey Art. Appreciate that. I'm glad you were able to join us and sketch with us a bit. It's always nice to have people from all skill sets, all walks of life. You always want to draw and sketch. The ability to create isn't prejudiced to anybody. You always feel confident to know that you can just step in and just draw, sketch, because it's fun to. Not because you're here to perform or to produce something of perfection or application in that way of any sort. You're just to generate ideas. They said heroes and creatures and see what people make of it. Well, you know, Journey, that question is a very valid one. And it's one of those things where we can easily say time is a factor. Any artist will say that, right? That's what's practice and time. But there are many other things, which is the aspect of not just time investment, or how we learned, you know, what we were looking for to generate the skill set to gain that kind of confidence. The self-drive, the individual, you know, driven to go seek that, where answers will not be discovered through any book or any instructor, and they can't tell you how to do it, but it's something that you have to just sit down and figure out. The problem-solving aspect of it, right? Which that's what you want. I mean, why would you want someone to just tell you this is how you should do it exactly, right? Because you wouldn't necessarily really appreciate the journey that it took to get to that point of discovery. You won't have any actual ownership of it. If somebody just hands you the information, the answer to something, this is how you should draw, then you won't have the legs to last, because you won't have that drive and the hunger to continue to grow. There's not supposed to be a plateau. You're not supposed to hit a top point and say, I'm done, you know? So it should be difficult. It's supposed to be hard. And it's not supposed to be something where everyone comes to even the same level. Everyone will come into different positions. There's no better or worse, but we ought to go in different directions. And that's all great. Whether somebody does like, you know, flat cartoony art, or somebody who does like photorealistic stuff, or somebody who draws in the imagination, or somebody who only draws from observation, these are all good things. And we can find a way to intermix it together through conversation, through communication and community effects. And it's not about just one person doing it all together. It's this idea of everyone coming together. And that's what this is right now. There's nobody here that's bad. There's nobody here who's great. Everyone here who's just creating because it's fun. And that's the most important thing about this. There's no judgment, and there doesn't need to be. Absolutely, Cartwheel. That's a great quote. And you are the one that will abandon it if you give up. But no one is telling you to stop. Usually, in most cases, you're the one that gives up on it. But that's the edge in which it'll weed the others, you know? It'll weed people out. And that's the way to think about this, too. Are you driven enough to get to that point? What are you willing to do to find out, get to there? And maybe you don't get there, you know? That's okay, because when it comes to the journey, no regrets on that side. You only go through once. Maybe it's a bit too heavy right now, the conversation. Sorry. We'll pull it back a little bit. Good. You know, that's the thing, all it takes is that drive and that intensity to just want to learn. But when you have expectation, oh, I've been doing it for this long, I should be there now. Sorry, that's not going to work. Because everybody learns on different speeds. Everybody learns to a different way of approach. Some method of technique is not going to work for someone else. And you, again, have to go seek these different possibilities by taking classes. Yeah, going to school. But from there, you're the one who has to be mature enough to discern and filter what worked for you and what made you be able to get over some hurdles and humps and stuff like that, right? That's great, man. I'm glad to hear that. You know, in terms of saving your life. And of course, I know it's probably a very unfortunate situation that's difficult for you. I hope things will look up and you get more support and help, whether from family or to friends or somebody else of a community. And it's hard to hear stuff like that, man. And, you know, it's one of those situations where I will be upfront about it, but you have to save yourself. You can't rely on anybody else to do it for you, you know? But yes, you do need a community. Yes, you do need people. And that's an important factor about this as well, too. But you can't expect it. If it happens, it's because it just happened to be you in the right place at the right time. And I can only hope that good things will happen for you. But being a part of here right now, being able to talk to me and anybody else, that's a part of it, you know? Well, again, of course, everything else, just be safe, you know, within your environment, where you are, with the place, you know, you're living in or not living in, wherever the case here is. You take care of yourself, man. Oh, no, absolutely not. You know, I don't see it that way either. But that is the position that you're in, you know? And it's okay to talk about it. Is it bad manners to draw on other people's drawings? Not necessarily. In this situation, it's welcome because we're presenting it that way. You know? Now, of course, you shouldn't be lewd and nor destroying somebody else's stuff. You shouldn't be drawing on top of them to cover it up. But if you're showing interaction, playfulness, that's totally welcome. Now, if I saw something that was kind of crossing the line, I'd boot them because, you know, I'm the one that's administrating it. So if I see who's doing it, I'm going to boot your ass. Let's see, Vilbrain. Let's see. How do I find out when your Shopify classes become available? I usually post that information on my Instagram channel, or not channel feed, and I will always post out when the new registrations are going to come up, the date of it, the time, all that stuff. So if you follow me on Instagram, around October, mid-October, I will definitely put up the information. For those of you that are still in here, if you're listening, if you're part of the Twitch, sign your name also. Put your little, you know, last name or first name next to it. You know, you guys can sign it. Leave a, you know, a lasting mark. Because we're going to be in here for the last 15 minutes. Whatever you're doing, the best time now is to convert over to, you know, trying to add some last details, additional changes, adjustments, another drawing and sketch if you want to. This is last 15 minutes is what you want to do. Is it easier to get a job as a character designer or environment designer in concept art? I would just be blatantly straightforward about this, environment art. This is because there's just more work for it. There's many more environmental pieces, interiors and exteriors, than there are character design. And a character design positioning is usually left to someone maybe specialized, not necessarily that's not the case, but in certain industries, it can be very much like that, where it's left to like seniority or to a certain skill set or to someone who has a certain styling maybe. But in games, of course, anybody can design the characters. But if you're talking about the two different disciplines, you're going to see more availability of assets to create for environments usually. It depends on the game. Have I watched Ethan Becker's video on the Inktober situation? Yeah, I actually skimmed through it. I saw bits and pieces of it. Honestly, it's like I had my couple of small bit of words here and there, and people wanted to just hear about what I had thoughts on. I didn't really intend to want to do anything like that, but I just kept getting tagged onto it, so I felt like I really had no choice to. Um, and it seemed like Ethan had a very good approach. I like his humor, obviously. His sarcasm is great. It brings a bit more a lightheartedness to it, which is important in this world, I think. I'm not saying everything has to be taken overly like super positive either. Things can be, joked about. Things can be scrutinized and critiqued and joked on. Why not? I think the world is way too serious for the moment. Oh, it crashed for Natalia? That's too bad. It's still there. It's saved, so. At least you got something in there. Looks awesome. Thanks for joining. There's a lot more stuff in costume design instead of character. Well, there's actually a delineation of costume and character, actually, and they are apart for sure. For people that are designing the characters, yes, you are also designing the costumes. But depending on the industry, those positions can also be separated, where there can be costume designers. Because let's say you're designing a live action film, usually the character is the actor, and they would dress them. So they would actually a lot of times go towards the costume designer for that. Through the big black line. That come from? Can't seem to own it. Whoever that was, maybe you can actually adjust that. It seemed to have been a bit of a glitch on here, so can't own all the layers, unfortunately. See if I can use my mouse for that. Anything above or below seems to have been affected. Yeah, I know it wasn't you. It just seems to have popped up. It might have been a glitch because it's on its own layer. There we go. No. Layer belongs to anonymous. Well, maybe I can affect it later on, but I'll probably get rid of it later. There we go. There we go. Got it. Somebody go on top of it. Oh man, somebody just went full red on that. Yeah, this the web drawing program is awesome. It is really great, but it can be a little finicky at times. Still, I think I don't think it's in beta, but it does have a couple of small little hiccups here and there at times. But no, this video will be going up on my YouTube channel later tonight as it processes. So if you guys want to rewatch some of the recording, some of the information, the talks that we've had, questions that we've been able to answer, you're welcome to watch it later on. I'll probably try to do another one of these at some point, maybe tomorrow, later in the evening again, or possibly earlier in the day. It's gonna just pop up. Best thing to do is just be a part of the Discord, and just keep an eye on it. Yeah, I don't know exactly how it handles this many people drawing all this stuff. I mean, it's holding up pretty well so far. I'm actually kind of impressed with this program or app that is anonymous. look like you can actually boot people either. Now that I'm trying it. That's the one thing I was kind of curious about. Oh, is that right? It's lagging on a ton for you? Interesting. I wonder if it has anything to do with like your internet speed as well too, possibly. As it like streams the information and data to you. I'm sure that might have to do something to do with quality. This will be the last 5. It'll be a quick hour and a half study session just to play around. This is my first official go, having just actual people joining in using Magma Studio. I've been practicing with it with a couple other people, but it seems to have gone relatively well. Doing Twitch and Magma Studio might be the killer, yeah, possibly. Appreciate that journey, Art. Good luck with everything, man. Anybody has any last couple questions, comments, thoughts, you are welcome to ask. But this will be our last couple minutes, and I'll be closing this fairly soon. I look forward to it. Again, look forward to more stuff happening at LightBox. Obviously, I'll be more part of these kind of different drawing events. I'll do another public one at some point, possibly during the weekend. I will be doing some talks and stuff tomorrow for sure. Another drawing jam with Super Ronnie team. That'll be at 4 p.m. So check out the Discord for more information as to when to join and register. I don't think you have to register for it. You probably just have to join in when you see it. This Warner, the app that we're using right now, web-based app, is called Magma Studio. You see it in the upper corner, left-hand side. Last couple questions here is, thank you, Happy Kush. Have you ever studied animation? If so, do you have any advice? I've taken animation classes. I've done one animation class when I was at the Art Institute way back. It was a long time ago. And I learned basic, like the basic traditional animation on paper. It was a lot of fun. It was difficult, but it was something that I did learn. But I didn't necessarily do anything for like professional means. And but that's about it, really. I didn't take any further than that. Giant stroke on here, where'd that come from? An eye on some of these layers when we're done here. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. Layer 14. Anonymous 6483. Down below. I think if I put it under my layers, I've actually whatever. What time am I on tomorrow? For the sketch jam, it might be in the morning. I don't know, around like 11, 12 maybe. Not morning, but before noon. But I do have a Super Ronnie sketch jam at 4 p.m. And then I have a Expedition Arts talk. It's more focused on adventure sketching, like traveling and sketching. That'll be at 6 p.m. So those are two official things I'm doing. But in terms of like this kind of public drawing, that will be, like I said, kind of just spontaneous. I might even post like half an hour before I go up. But yeah, book update will be coming soon. Failing falsely. So this weekend, look forward for information. Pre-sales. That's the thing. Pre-sales coming up. President Panda, this is a jam session. That's on LightBox Expo. So if you go to the website, you can register for it. It's $1. You can be part of the event all weekend. There's a lot of stuff going on, different talks and expos. And we do these kind of drawing jams on the Discord. You can join it, and you'll find links that can be established by the artists who hosts it, and you can join and draw with them. All right, cool. But again, we are actually coming to our end. For those of you that are joining right now, I do apologize, but we are about to stop because we've been going at about maybe an hour and a half at the moment. No, maybe only about an hour. Yeah, we only just got going, but this drawing jam session gets filled up and we can only go so far. So thanks again for joining, you guys. I will probably be back at some point, maybe even this weekend, doing another one of these. I'll announce it on my Instagram first, as always, as a story. And then from there, I'll also post up a link to the Twitch channel. For the moment, I'm probably gonna actually move on because I actually have to plan a couple stuff for tomorrow, unfortunately, Chris and Panda. But like I said, I'll definitely also be on Singularly next week for sure, and that will most likely be on a Tuesday. You can always join at that point. Thank you again for stopping by. Again, all of you guys, welcome and thank you, and I appreciate you guys hanging out, asking questions, joining in, conversing, and I'll see you guys next time. So I'm gonna close down the chat. See you later.